Welcome to the first episode of TriPOD.
Woo!
This is first episode round 2.
We filmed
Due
the
to
entire
complications.
episode the other day. It was totally great conversation. It was really natural and everything. But it was trash. it was absolute trash. So yeah.
Let's just say Maggie's
Prophesy.
brother, we thought was just speaking, but turns out he was right.
Turns out my hearing aid can't be used as a
No, it
microphone.
can. It can. You just can't be on mute.
Wait, I can't say that out loud. Oh, we're gonna have to cut that. The people aren't stupid.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I shouldn't have laughed.
Story. I was leaving school today, and I get in my car, and keep in mind it's winter, so my car's like me. It gets cold and stops working and falls apart and stuff. So I get in my car, I put that puppy in reverse, and I'm like, oh, sweet goodness. I either just ran Jason over or something's wrong with my car. So I get out. And I look under my car. And I'm like, what is happening? For Jason. There's nothing under my car. I get back in. I start driving. And I'm like, okay, something is dragging. I'm like, this isn't RuPaul. So what's the problem?
It's Jason.
And it sounds like a choo-choo train. Like the piston of a train. Like, I'll play for you what it sounds like.
We can pop up on screen for you guys too at home.
For the viewers at home.
Did you hear that?
That does
No.
not sound right. Text that to us so we can pop it up on screen.
But anyways, yeah, that was bad. William's like, I think it's a warped rotor. In the same car ride, he goes, it's a warped rotor. And then he goes, that's definitely not a warped rotor. And then I show him the video. He was like, okay, maybe it's a warped rotor. So I don't know what's wrong with my car, but at least I didn't run over.
Can we look up the definition of warped rotor?
It's an
warped rotor.
It's
warped.
Yeah, it's a rotor that's warped.
I don't know what a rotor is.
It's not that hard to understand.
What's a rotor?
Like
A rotor? It goes.
It's best to avoid driving altogether with warped rotors.
Oh.
Continuing to drive can lead to brake failure, which poses a serious safety risk, and you can die.
Well,
so,
According to Margaret's gonna die.
According to the quoradigest.gov.
Mm-hmm. William also told me that my brake pads are gone. That like it's literally there is which he gaslit me the other day. That little diva because I was like, bro, I think my brakes are going out. Like I don't think my brake pads, like it sounds like metal on metal when I brake. And he's like, no, he's like, cause your brakes will.
She couldn't get him out for anyone else.
No.
Mm-mm. But he told me that my brakes would have squealed before they like started grinding. Sounds like JoJo Siwa. I'm sorry.
Enough of that madness.
But yeah, so he told me that my brakes were fine, and then today he corrected himself, so yeah, my brakes are going out. So yeah, if you see me flying by on 23, 72, past the cop, and I'm just waving my arms, going, help! That is wild.
And you know what? You could probably hire Jason to be the brakes for you if you needed it.
He offered to change my oil, so maybe he'd change my brakes.
Or he could just.
Do you guys want to answer?
Yeah, ants are good.
Ants?
Yeah.
Yes, I love ants.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go down the line and answer your guys' questions you asked us. So let's start with Maggie.
Okay.
Pick a question.
I think we should do the origin of the pod.
That's what I was gonna say, but the problem is that's a
origin?
little bit of a sore topic given the person whose name rhymes with the Loch Nessie monster.
Mess.
I mean, we can give the main origin. We just don't have to release any
Ooh,
like,
uncomfortable
personal names or anything.
stories. I like.
Okay, so basically, the origin of the pod I don't even really remember how it really started. I just know it was during third period study hall. For those at home who don't know, we're in third period study hall together. Besides Audrey,
Not me.
she is an alum. But basically, we're just third period study hall, and we have a lot of fun times in this study hall. And we were like, you know what would be so fun to start a podcast. Maggie, myself, and another friend that has sadly had to step down from
Say her
the
name!
podcast, but that's okay.
Miss.
Miss!
We stand with you. Miss.
Her name's not
Okay, so
Jess.
sadly she had to step down due to some circumstances, but however, we do have a new member that we are very lucky to have on our pod. Anyways, we'll let Maggie take it over from here, telling the origin of our name, how we were founded, and the storyline,
Okay,
basically.
so I really don't remember anything because my memory is pretty bad, but I do remember nothing apparently. No, I remember when we were in study hall, we were trying to come up with a name. We went through, let's see, what were our names that we came up with? The first one that we were like, okay, yeah, we had it for like a day, and we were like, yeah, I guess this is what it's gonna have to be, and it just was not sitting right. It was not sitting right.
What
It was.
what was the name?
It wasn't Great Delusions. I don't know why I'm thinking of that.
We had multiple names in a Google Doc we share at
so
school.
Dr. D, if you ever want to
and
see all of
we did
our
have one
plans,
of our
just
classmates.
log on.
We did have one of our classmates kind of help us come up with names. He came up
Say his
with
name.
I forget, but we didn't like them, so we cut Colson off for helping us.
Never mind. Never mind. Okay,
You're gonna get us canceled on our first episode.
that wasn't. Never mind. Okay, so but then one day I came to school and I was like, guys, hold up. This is not how it happened, actually. I sat down.
This is not how it happened. No,
yes,
I will
take it
finish telling the
away.
story. Okay. So we were sitting, still trying to figure out a name. I cannot remember at this time the name we had settled for like a day, and we were like, "This isn't working." So I forget what our other old employee was doing at this time, but the two of us, we were trying to think of a name, and we were like, "There's three of us, like three, triplet, just kind of messing with random words, trying to combine it."
I remember what happened. I remember because I was sitting there and I was like, my friends just made an Instagram whatever account, and there's three of them, and it's called like Trio, but it has a triple O.
That's
so
not
it's
how that
Trio
happened.
with 3 O's. No, it is. I remember distinctly. And I was like, we should do something with that, like the three of us, since it's Trio, like something with like the play on like the 3 O's. I don't know.
I do not remember any of this.
Yeah, I do. Maybe this all happened in my head, and then I just burst out
because we were sitting there in our chairs, kind of leaning back. We were like, triple, and then I was kind of like try, and then you started going try, and I could do, and I was like tripod, thinking as like the camera holder tripod.
No, you didn't. I came up with it.
No, I did.
My name.
I did. Because I was like tripod, and we looked at each other and he go tripod.
Okay.
Why is Audrey on mute?
Because she's talking to her padre.
Is she really?
Not relatable.
Is she really?
I think so.
How do you
I
know
would
that?
say, or she here, because the way she's nodding and stuff. I can like hear him right now going, "Stop acting stupid!" Like he yelled at me and Audrey and Maggie. Oh, he can probably hear us.
No, she has her headphones.
Just kidding.
In. You need to move.
I have another good question.
You need to move the microphone closer to you.
Me?
Yeah, or like move yourself closer to the top of the microphone.
I have a really great topic. One of the questions that somebody asked. Once our father gets back.
She's back.
Oh my gosh!
Why is she being weird?
Do it if you're gonna do it.
Oh, it's one of your brothers. Is he gonna do a little jig?
Okay, you don't get that anymore.
Lydia.
Yeah.
Lydia was gonna barf into the mic, wasn't she?
Special guest, part 1.
Say your name!
Your phone, I'll do it now. It's fine. They won't know. Hurry up. Just tell me when it's on.
It's on.
Tell me when you turn it on, though.
It's on.
No, when you actually turn it on, tell me.
Okay, turn it on.
Yeah. Is that good? You want me to do bigger, or is that... Who's on this?
Margaret and Mia.
Margaret, my mom, and... Margaret. parents.
Ask if she
Yeah.
you can adopt her.
If I can adopt whom?
Margaret?
Mags?
Yeah, Mags.
I think we'd probably arrange something. Mrs. Crabtree and I are more than willing to engage in adoption with a worthy recipient. Why, that's how we got Audrey in the first place. We adopted her from an inner city orphanage where she had been neglected and left alone. In fact, abandoned by her original mother and father. Next.
Okay, next.
Next.
No.
No.
That's not
Because we get off me.
That's a
You
fine
can't-
question.
is it-
I didn't hear what it was, but I'm sure it's okay. I've done lots of podcasts in my time. I'm 44. Go.
You're 34. You don't look a day younger.
Did you say you don't look a day over 4,000?
That was crappy. Give me questions that count. God,
Okay.
Like
What is your
garbage is
funniest
this?
childhood memory?
I can't even hear these.
What's your best childhood memory?
Funniest.
Well, I guess that depends what sort of category you'd like to ask. There are different categories of memories, and I would
just
like
said
to
funny.
share
How
any
about
one you want.
comedic
Certainly don't want to
memory?
waste your time. This is very important. So,
No, it's too bad.
best
It's too late for that. You already did.
childhood memory, it's tragic, for example. Is that what you'd like?
Yeah, probably.
Sure.
Well, why don't you ask Mags and Donovan or whoever else is on there?
No, it's Donald Bane.
Huh?
Don Bane.
Yeah, Donald Bane.
Donald Bane. Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
Oh, he's
That's-
asking
that,
for
that wasn't a
ours.
question.
That was all the questions.
I haven't
Oh.
answered it yet.
Whose mouth are you talking out of?
Audrey, I mean, the sass.
Okay. Well, I was hoping to answer about my best tragic childhood memory, but I guess I'll just
Do
leave
it
that.
then. Do it.
Well, I don't want to interrupt. And I'd be happy to if you would like me to.
Is this an episode of Khan Academy?
What?
What did they say about
What?
my chronic academy?
Out. He can't hear me, can he? Okay, good.
How do you know what you just said then?
He didn't. We
Well,
haven't
he did hear
the
that.
connection because he's my new daddy.
Okay,
I will take one too.
I was very young when I was born.
Susan.
I was met with a very cold reception when I entered this particular world. I shot straight out of the delivery room, so to speak, and it was very chilly. Well, at that point, they trimmed my cord. Well, if you know what I mean, it was very, very cold. Well, they put me into and it was shortly thereafter I was to experience my most traumatic childhood memory. Oh, I'll tell you how it went. It went a little something like this. There I was, third grade. I was on the playground, and there was another child. He was my age. His name was Roger Fisher. By the way, if this podcast is going out to the general public and Roger Fisher's out there, please don't sue me for exposing this secret about you. He pulled his shirt off. He was kind of a chunky guy. We were on the playground at Pearl Street Elementary School, and he displayed that his stomach, which was sort of blubbery, looked exactly like, well, how do I put this? A posterior. That's what it looked like. I said to him, and I quote, "Roger, why does your stomach look very similar to I believe the word I said was buttocks." He said, "Well, I was born in Germany with my guts falling out, and they sewed me up, and this is why I look like this." I always thought that was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard, and one of the most tragic experiences I'd ever had as a young child, 8 years old or so, third grade, 1987, Pearl Street Elementary School, Marion, Ohio. Well, guess what? Found out years later there really is a condition where people's abdominal muscles don't form properly, And so they do
Not
kind of
even
stitch them up right up
lying.
the middle, right where that sort of crease would be in your muscles. If you think of someone with a six-pack, you know the kind of thing I'm talking about, the kind of thing
Are we getting
that I have.
demonetized?
Well, there really is a condition where people have that abdominal wall that doesn't quite fill out the way it should in terms of the muscle development. And so they do kind of just sew them up. And if they happen to put on excess weight and are what we would say in the popular vernacular, a little blubbery, well, it might kind of look like well, I think you know what I mean. And that's what happened. It was a great tragedy. I always felt bad that I made fun of Roger for that, but the truth of the matter is, he was telling the truth. And I found out that, well, I found it out the hard way. Boy, did I feel like a butt.
I get it.
She got the joke.
Thank you.
Okay, that is all the questions we have.
No, I'd like to answer some more questions.
Dad.
I'm here to serve.
Okay, so the question we're going to dive into right now is craziest injuries. So that's what this user wants us to talk about. Craziest injuries.
Who will start?
Has anyone ever broken a bone? Well, actually, if you guys listened to our little snippet of the podcast, our little teaser that Audrey released yesterday, she told a funny little story. So go back and listen to that one for sure. That one's really good. Made me chuckle.
Yes.
I had never heard that story, I don't think. Mia, you ever broken a bone?
Most of you know my ankles are terrible. They're kaput about every other 13 months. I am in the ER over my ankle. It all started in 6th grade, actually. We were on the 6th grade middle school retreat. We were going to a local camp nearby for an overnighter. I think we were on a bus, or maybe we were just on a car. Who am I kidding? We were on a bus. I get out of the car, and if you guys know, like, how places have, like, the wheelchair ramp, like, the div, what's it called?
Yeah.
The dip. And me being stupid little me,
The
when I got out of the car, I didn't realize the little dip was there, and my ankle went within 2 minutes of being at this camp. And I am obviously not going to cry, even though it hurts terrible, because my mom wasn't there. I didn't want to cry in front of all these random people I barely knew. And so I basically get injured within 2 minutes of being there for the next 48 some hours. So we went on this night hike as two. And I remember the only person I told this late night hike, it was like a sunset hike or something. And the only person I told about my injury was Julia. Shout out to Julia. And I just remember laying in that bed in so much pain. And Julia, we were however old you are in 6th grade. And Julia was helping me. She like put a bag underneath my ankle because I was too scared to tell anyone because I didn't want to have to like go home or anything like that. And I was embarrassed of the situation. And then so that was my first ankle tragedy. And then I had a bunch more throughout my basketball seasons. And then I think it was sophomore year basketball, or maybe it was junior year basketball. I quit junior year within like the first month. But I had a really bad back injury. We were warming up the first day of practice. And let's just say it was so bad that when I was getting up and out of bed, I was in like full on tears. Like I could not move. Like I was like freaking out because I'd never been in so much pain. But that's my story on my broken bones.
I was actually born with a broken collarbone. It was called the Battle of the Pelvis. My mom was basically like, okay, listen, I'm not weak. I'm a grown woman, and I'm not about to snap my pelvis for this kid. So she snapped my collarbone instead with her pelvis.
Okay, Heather 8.
Call her Elvis. Yes, Heather 8. So I was born with a broken collarbone. So the first 6 months of my life, I was like, and that's why if you see me walking around, I'm a little lopsided. Obviously, it's kind of subtle, but if you see I'm lopsided, it's subtle. Long enough.
I can see it.
But yeah, no, that I obviously have no recollection of that. Other than that, no. But I've had lots of silly little injuries. Hi, darling. One time, my younger brother threw a rock at my face. I was we were playing, well, okay, we were sneaking around, sneaking up on our neighbor because they were in our garage, and I was opera singing. William didn't like that, and so we were standing in the driveway, and he picked up a rock, a piece of gravel, and he threw it at me while I was opera singing. My mouth is wide open, gaping, and he knocked off half of my front tooth. So half my front tooth is fake. Yeah.
Is it really?
And then another time, it is, yeah. And then another time, this is so random. We used to live like in the woods. Basically, we had like 5 acres of woods in Centerburg. Shout out to Centerburg. Anyways, and there was lots of just like random little animals like in the trees, whatever, Snow White type stuff. Like we raised deer and raccoons and wild birds and squirrels and stuff. So that was that. Yeah. Anyways, one morning my brother brought an albino squirrel into the house to show my mom because he had seen it on a tree and our cat had beat it up. So he brought it into the house.
Mm-hmm.
This thing was like stunned because it was injured because it got beat up by our cat, and it got loose in our schoolroom. And I thought it would be a good idea to try to contain it.
That's such homeschool core, having a schoolroom.
I know, a schoolroom, yeah. And I was like gonna try to grab this albino squirrel, which is going. It's a crack addict, like it's bouncing all over the walls. I go to grab it, and I was probably like 8, and it bit me. It like bit down on my finger, my pointer finger, and it would not let go. I remember like grabbing it by its body and like trying to pull it off my finger. This thing was not budging. So I have a tiny little scar on my finger from where a squirrel bit me, but apparently didn't have rabies. Allegedly.
Guys, I have another question from a fan of ours. I know some people may be used to this question. Who knows? But are you ready, guys? For those who don't know at home. The question is the difference between bacon and unlimited games.
No. I'm talking.
What even?
Why is Maggie so stressed?
Okay. No, this is really serious. I want to answer this question. This is above my pay grade. I don't have the credentials.
What is that?
This.
What does that mean?
Okay. We can talk about it when we're wiser.
What about the embarrassing things you've done / experienced?
Experienced?
I have one after you're done. I just thought of one.
You can go.
Okay. So at my school, there are 2 main bathrooms in the 2 main building. Well, there's other bathrooms, but these are my 2 main bathrooms that I go to. So I was in this one, and there's one line of stalls, and then on the other side, there's the handicap stall, and then there's one more that goes to it. But the doors are really loose, so they don't lock. And it works when you're in the small one because, well, I have very short legs, but I can reach the door in the small one. But when it's the big one, it's another story because it's the big handicap stall. So it was a full bathroom, and it was 1:58. My class starts at 2. I have to use the bathroom. I can't wait for somebody to get out. I have to use the big stall. I have to go into the handicapped one. I go in there, and I'm on the toilet, and guys, let me know why. I'm like busy, whatever. I'm like not paying attention. I look up, the door's wide open. This was right before Christmas break, by the way. The door is wide open for the whole world to see. Like, I didn't notice either. I don't know how long it was open for because I don't really pay attention. I don't like look forward.
Walked up and was like, "Oh," and turned around and you didn't even hear him.
But okay, that's actually, there's part 2 to the story. But anyway, that happened, and I was so embarrassed. I stood up, no pants on. Well, maybe we shouldn't put this in the episode. But anyway, I stood up, and I didn't pull my pants up or nothing. I shut the door, and then I pulled my pants up, and then I left and acted like nothing. And, also, that was right before my final exam. So that was just the pick-me-up I needed. But part 2 to this story was my first day back last Wednesday. It was a full bathroom again, and I wasn't late to class or anything, but it was a full bathroom, and the only one open was the big stall. And I was like, I really, I just gotta go. I go over there. This same girl is having the same problem. She's sitting on the toilet. She didn't notice. I walk by it, and I was like, and we made eye contact, and she was like,
oh my goodness.
And so
and she was like doing her business.
Yeah. And then I just walked away, and I was like, and then I thought about it after that, and I was like, I probably should have shut the door for her, but I thought that would be too weird, and I left the bathroom completely, and I went to the other building and went to the other bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
So that's my embarrassing story.
All right, guys, that's it for our episode today. Make sure you guys like and subscribe.
Thank you, guys.
Comment if
Should we
you
just
want to
kick
see
her?
anything in the future.
Margaret, say bye.
Any topics you want us to cover.
Margaret, say goodbye.
Audrey, say like and
Bye,
subscribe and follow
everybody.
us online.
Like and subscribe and follow us on all platforms.
Yes, we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Instagram, YouTube. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.